Hey, what up? It's the triple option. I am here, Trey Rowland. I am your COVID-infested host at the moment. I am here with my two presumably healthy co-hosts. I'm not really sure. I don't want to violate any HIPAA violations. Adam Brown and Kevin Little, and we are here for our. I feel like we haven't done a live show in a while, so it's good to just knock the rust off, get back into it. Boys, how are you doing? I know I look better than you, even though I feel worse, but how are you guys doing? Do you have some sort of hidden malady that I don't know about?
No, man. Just kid's got his 2-year-old molars coming in, so that's been freaking us. Yeah, it's been freaking us out a little bit, and no, everything else is good though.
What about you, Kevin?
Hoping you're feeling better soon, obviously.
Yeah, we'll be fine. If the show sucks, I'm going to blame it on the sickness and not my general lack of talent. Kevin, how are you doing? Have your 2-year-old molars come in yet? Do you have a full setup down?
Yeah, they are coming in.
That's good.
One at a time, but no, I'm good.
Well, boys, I'm excited. Normally, it's kind of like a dead period for Florida State. There's a literal dead period coming up here after Wednesday, but some interesting stuff to talk about. Florida State gets a commit, a high school wide receiver commit. Ron Dugan's already earning that extension. Maybe hold on.
We have breaking news in the chat. Someone is propositioning Kev to have their baby.
Yeah, that's a first.
That's interesting news right there. That's
Lewis.
Or Luis, however you might want to say that.
Luis? Yeah, that's true. That would...
Also breaking news. I feel like I broke Trey's stride there a little bit, but
yeah, you did a little
bit. It's been a big question amongst the Florida State fan base. Would Trey get the vid first, or would Mario be able to hire a DC? It does seem like Trey won, but Mario did get his defensive coordinator today.
Now, listen, if there's one thing that I'm going to do, it's not going to let Florida State fans lose money. So, yes, I intentionally infected myself with COVID-19 so that you guys could win that bet. But, yeah, that's – what the hell? He just hired his DC and he got Kevin Steele. So,
hey,
that was worth the wait.
That's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, good stuff. So, anyway, God, it's such a mess down there. It's so great.
It's glorious.
So we'll talk about Ron Dugan's earning that extension. I'm sure maybe we'll talk about coaching extensions and things like that. We had some pretty strong words if he did extend them, and he did. So I'm sure we can talk about it. And then the schedule got released, and I'd say overall, I think it's maybe just a knee-jerk reaction. I'm just so Pavlovian dog trained to hate everything that the ACC does because they're such an abjectly terrible organization. I thought the schedule's okay. It was weird. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, but I think overall not bad, manageable. But we'll talk about it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, off the at first glance, I'm not one of those big the schedule really matters. I mean, you know who you're playing. I don't really care what order you play them in. I guess it matters to some extent, but yeah, I mean, it's first glance looks favorable. Looks like John Swafford didn't screw him over. So thank God for some new leadership.
Yeah, I was about to say he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it definitely looks manageable, right?
Yeah, we'll take it. Yeah, the Duquesne. I guess that's a real school. I didn't even know, but yeah, the week 0 opponent. All right, how do you guys want to structure this? Do you want to talk about the Florida State's first slot white wide receiver? And I can remember. Now, listen, I've always had the bucket. Yeah, but that's before the former lacrosse kid playing the slot became in vogue. So I guess he still counts. And his daddy was pretty damn good at football.
Yeah, he
was. I've always had two on my bucket list. It was the former the frat shag slot white receiver guy who they use all the euphemisms about to cover up that he's not athletic, even though this one actually might be athletic, which is cool. And then the Polynesian lineman. We still can't get the Polynesian lineman yet, but I got the one off my list. I am just
you got the Polynesian quarterback.
I want the guy whose last name just sounds like you're choking on a piece of
didn't they have a guy?
They had him committed, but he didn't sign. Kimo Makanaole.
No. They didn't.
Who?
Jimbo have a guy that was a Polynesian and he was god awful.
Don't listen.
I'm going to get that name.
I know. Listen, brother. Don't besmirch. Do not besmirch the South Pacific Islands, brother. We are big in Bali. We are big in Tonga. We are big in Samoa. You're really alienating a large portion of our fan base. And to the people of the islands, we apologize for Adam's misrepresentation of your athletic skills. I'm waiting for
Joe something. That name
that doesn't sound right. I want like a sopalakafua, like a bunch of like some apostrophes, way too many vowels, a consonant that doesn't make sense, a K in the middle. We're still waiting, but we got Camden Fryer. Maybe we could just talk about him first. You guys got his highlights pulled up, right?
Yep.
A kid, I looked at his 24/7 profile. He's a 2024 kid, so it's way off, but kid's got a lot of potential. The only two people that offered right now are us and Texas A&M. Texas A&M is recruiting quite well. From everybody that I trust.
Quite well.
Yeah, isn't that what Lane said today? Kiffin said something like
however you want to put it.
All right, so
I'm pretty excited. I mean, I want to see what you guys think. I mean, normally 2024, I don't even.
It's a long way out.
So far away.
This is not something we normally do, but because he's obviously a legacy commitment or legacy recruit, we kind of thought it'd be fun to just take a look at him. He's a big time baseball prospect. I know our Tomahawk Nation's Brett Nevitt really is a fan of him, and it sounds
shut up, Brett.
Yeah, shut up, Brett.
Yeah, he does excellent work.
Sounds like he's going to be playing baseball at Florida State also. I think he's every bit as fast as his dad was, if not faster.
Good hands. Good hands from the Fryer boy.
So 2 out of the first 3.
Seems well, body control's nice.
Yeah, he's good on waiting on really underthrown balls. Hopefully he won't have to do that at Florida State. Yeah, that takes a long time to get to. That was like the run time of the Irishman for that ball to like leave the quarterback's hand and get to him. That was a while.
And what? He's a freshman here? Sophomore?
Sophomore, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's you got to take that into account when you're watching this film, you know.
Is that Cooper Kupp out there?
Oh, you better cut it out. We're gonna lose our verified expert credentialed status.
Yeah, people are gonna start calling us homers.
He's a little shifty. I like that.
Yeah, he's pretty quick. I think he's got some decent long speed.
Man, he can catch terribly thrown balls, which is fine. So it's good. A catch radius.
He's gonna fit in.
What's his stats? He's like 5'11", right?
Yeah, something in that ballpark. 160 pounds or something like that.
That's how those little whiteys are built. That's right. 5'11", like 150 or something.
Looks a little stiff. He's not going to juke you out of your shoes, but speed seems to be there, which is nice. Acceleration looks good.
Yeah,
seems to catch everything. Check the box there.
What do you look for when you evaluate wide receiver film? That either goes to Adam or Kevin. Like, as far as like what's the most important like trait for like a high school wide receiver to have that's the most transferable in your opinion?
The biggest thing that I look for in a lot of kids is just ball tracking, how well they see the ball, and then like their body control when the ball's kind of in their area, how well they can change direction, get the ball, that kind of stuff. I mean, obviously catching's important. You're going to look for that. I don't think you're good. I don't think you see a ton of like press man where these guys have got to do man, or press beating moves at the line of scrimmage. So it's hard. You're not
in that film. He had a lot of cushion every single catch. So he didn't have to beat any press.
So, I mean, the biggest things for me, and Kev can obviously give his own answer here. The biggest things for me is just body control, and then kind of how you track the balls that come into you.
Hey, Kev, what do you look for?
It kind of depends on the body type. I'm personally.
All right, how about somebody who looks like you? He's got your body type. Yes, what do you look for in somebody who looks like you?
Yeah, you want to see him not drop a single pass. It'd be nice to have a little bit of quickness in there as well. What makes those guys especially dangerous, the Patriots slot receiver that you think of, is just their change of speed is so good.
Right.
So they run those little like slot option routes, which just make them really dangerous. So I think he's missing a little bit of that quickness, a little bit of that like first step or two. But over the middle, if he's able to catch the ball in traffic consistently, then Renfro at Clemson never had any speed or quickness, so he just caught the ball, ran decent routes, and that's what you need. I would have liked to see a few more routes run in there. You saw a wheel route, a vertical route. Outside of that, you don't really see much. So it'd be interesting to see. As it stands now, I don't really trust our coaching staff to develop elite route running. So if I'm looking for someone for Florida State, that's a skill I would hope they bring to the table out of high school.
Let me pose this question in the group. Will Ron Dugans be coaching Camden Fryer at Florida State University?
Yes, for another year.
Oh, no, Fryer's not going to be here.
No, I was going to say he's not going to be here for 2 years.
Is he no, I don't think he'll be here.
No, I don't think Dugans isn't going to be coaching him.
Even though there does seem to be a big time connection between the two of them, you never know. Maybe Ron figures it out this year, but no, I think come 12/31/22, Ron will be living his last days as a Florida State Seminole coach.
I think either Florida State goes on an upward trajectory and we keep Norvell around and he finds an upgrade at that position sometime soon, or the whole staff is gone by the time Fryer's gone, and that includes Dugans.
Either way, Fryer will not be riding in the donk. However, it'll be good. Like I said, I thought the film was pretty good. I mean, it's 2024, so this kid's got a whole lot of development left. We'll be tracking him. He's a legacy kid. Pops made some big plays, and I thought it was a good commit. That kid's good athlete.
Yep.
Florida State's never really had in a while a dangerous over the middle type of dude. It'll be interesting to see if we will have some this year with Micah Pittman and Winston Wright coming in. Definitely going to have the potential to have some of the most dangerous kind of slot combinations that we've seen in a while. So maybe that'll be a good proof of concept for see how a kid like Camden Fryer slots in. All right, let's get to schedule talk. That was a lot of time for a 2024 commit, and that shows just how much Florida State doesn't have happening on National Signing Day tomorrow. I think the only thing that might happen is Antavius Woody is the only guy they expect maybe to sign, but there were issues like his grades or something, right? Are they going to send him a national letter of intent? What's the deal with that? Do you guys know?
No, he's not going to get an NIL. He might have some sort of piece of paper to sign, but could very well just be a blank piece of notebook paper. I don't know. I think it's going to be, we'll see where he's at in May, whether he gets an offer or whether he gets an NIL to sign or not.
Dope. Kids, if you're watching high school kids, do your homework and stuff, guys. Very important.
Yeah,
all right. Do you want to get to the schedule, or do you want to, are there questions in the chat? Is it popping right now? I don't know. I can't see it. So I don't know if anybody's.
No real questions right now. Well, I'm sure the questions will be coming. Got some predictions going on in the chat.
Record predictions.
Yeah,
how are they? Are they reasonable?
Yeah.
We have reasonable listeners.
I think they're mostly reasonable.
I mean, it's more reasonable than the Miami thread I saw on Twitter earlier, which was like,
I don't even blame them
going
for
11 and
schedule
1.
Prediction. They got a lot of coping going on right now. It is not going the way they
Kevin
thought it would
Steele,
go.
top
If you
20
wait a month and a
defensive
half and
coordinator.
you hire a guy who didn't have a job, you could have hired him anyway. I'd be interested to know exactly where Mr. Steele slotted in their list.
I don't know. According to the Miami fans, he was their number one choice the whole time.
Top, of course.
Okay. Realistically, what, 8th, 7th, 8th, right?
He's bringing the steel curtain down to Miami.
What do you think, Adam? Kevin Steele's defense. When you hear it like Miami hires Kevin Steele, are you afraid about our offense's chances against him?
I think it's a good thing that the big money guy is in Mario's pocket, because Kevin Steele's going to kind of try to come steal his job again.
Oh, you think? What do you think about Kevin Steele's defense?
That's what he did at Auburn.
What do I think about the defense? I don't know. I've been digging on him a little bit because I thought he was historically a 3-4 guy, but it sounds like he ran some 4-2-5 at Auburn. I mean, they had a good defense there, but they also had an all-world defensive line. Derek Brown. I mean, these are some of the guys that were playing on that defensive line are some of the best defensive linemen in the NFL right now. So I don't think he's got that necessarily at his disposal at Miami. The Taylor kid's really good. They obviously landed Nigel Kelly this past year in the 2022 early signing day. We'll see. I don't think he's got that elite personnel that he probably had at Auburn. Tennessee sure got rid of him pretty quick when he got a second chance there. I think went in as an analyst there after he tried to. What happened? He got hired as the interim coach or something at Tennessee, and then got dumped. And
yeah, there was
ended
weird. A lot of people
ended
wanted
up
him
being
to
on their
have the
staff or
job.
some
Yeah,
nonsense. I don't know.
there's always a weird aura of shit showness that seems to like follow him around.
Yeah,
I don't think, if we use a
bring it
technical
on.
term, yeah, I'm not worried about it. We'll see how that defense translates. I'm not really worried about it. So let's get to the schedule. Do you guys want to do? Let's do our predictions. Let's kind of go game by game and see what we think.
Talk about what we know about each team, what we can.
Yeah. So like I said, so it's a weird schedule, right? Because you start off with that week 0 game against the Duquesne Dukes, the Dukes, the Duke Squareds, and that week 0, which people ask, why are you doing that? I like it because it affords you to have 2 bye weeks, but it makes a weird schedule weirder. There's Friday games, there's a neutral site. It's a weird schedule that's going on. So first, week 1, Duquesne Dukes at home. Saturday, August 27th at Doak Campbell Stadium. Gonna be hotter than 5 Rapids having sex in a wool bag. It's gonna be disgusting.
This is a really bad. They're really not that good.
Duquesne?
Yeah, I've actually seen them play a few times live over the years.
Why? What? You don't like football that much?
That's what we do in Delaware, man. We watch bad football.
Is Duquesne in the state of Delaware?
No, they're not in the state of Delaware, but they played.
I thought they were like in.
They've played regionally, so they're god awful.
Props to anybody who can tell me where Duquesne University is located without using Google.
Yeah,
we'll know if you cheat.
Drop it in the chat. We'll know if you cheated.
Yeah, we track all of your IP addresses and sell your information to China. So,
anyway, this
Duquesne,
is going to be a slaughter.
So they're going to kick their ass. Hopefully, they keep it really vanilla. Maybe work out some kinks. Hopefully,
not too vanilla. Not Jacksonville State vanilla.
No, just run the ball type of vanilla, like where you don't have to just pass. We can do both. Hopefully get out of there unscathed, work out the kinks, work out some of your rotations, get some young guys some playing time. And then you head to LSU and Yawlins, which is technically a neutral site game, but the swamp people will be all over that place. I know going to be a lot of Florida State games there, but that crowd's got to be what, 70-30, you think, LSU? I don't know how they hold the tickets, but it's going to be a mostly partisan LSU crowd. It's going to be a fun time. I know I have Florida State fans in Iowa that are like, hey, are we driving to New Orleans? And the answer is probably not, but I know a lot of people are penciling that in for a road trip. LSU've lost a lot of people in the transition to this weird Brian Kelly who fakes Southern accents and rubs his wiener on like high school recruits' butts while making music videos. He's had a weird heel. Brian Kelly is having a very strange crises right now of his personality. However, they lost a lot of talent, but are doing maybe the best in the country outside of USC in the transfer portal. So LSU is going to be kind of a weird team in flux. What do you guys think, man? I feel like it's a very winnable game, but I don't. It's going to be weird to get a read on that game because I don't know. I just don't know how good they are.
Yeah, I mean they've lost a lot of guys. Who knows what the buy-in's going to be? I mean, we know the book on Brian Kelly. I mean, he's a pretty hard guy to play for. So Duquesne's in Pittsburgh for those that are still wondering where Duquesne is.
Okay, good. I didn't know. I still didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, Kelly's a pretty tough guy to play for. He's historically pretty rough on his quarterbacks too. So you've got a couple of quarterbacks there that I'm not sure are great.
Who they got? Is it Miles Brennan? Is that going to be the
Miles Brennan? Garrett
was
Nussmeier's there. I think the Nussmeier kid young man will probably be their starter. If I had to guess at this point,
Adam, you can call them kids. There was just one guy in the YouTube chat that said you shouldn't. It's okay. You're older than them. It's
not professional.
It's okay.
Not professional.
Well, okay. Well, you and I don't work for CBS Sports. It's okay. The one YouTube
not
comic,
yet, Trey.
I can chill out. Yeah, we're coming for you.
So Nussmeier was he's likely going to be their starter. I mean, they got Noah King coming in from Penn State, who's been banged up a lot and not really done a ton up there.
That was a good pull, though. We wanted him. We wanted him.
I think it'll be interesting to see where he's at. In my opinion, it's just going to be a battle of the lines. Or do they have those SEC lines that Florida State can't really physically handle? Even though I think that we're going to be farther along, obviously, with a lot of third year, fourth year kind of guys on your lines now. Returning defensive linemen are pretty stout for us, but it's still a question mark whether we can handle the SEC size and speed and talent on the lines and the depth, so to speak. So we'll see. I mean, I got to think LSU's probably favored in that game.
Yeah, and they should be. I for that. What do you think, Kev? Before we move on,
I think it'll be interesting to see the transition on offense. I mean, Kelly, he's a good coach, right? He's brought Notre Dame to be a top 10 team consistently. It's hard to deny that, but I also think that they're having a pretty radical transition in offensive style. It'll be interesting to see if they have the tight ends needed to run the kind of offense they want to run. I think he has that offensive coordinator he had from like 2010 to 2016 back. So it's going to be much of the same stuff. They're going to go really, 22 personnel.
Plotting. It's going to be a very plotting game without really the plotting personnel.
If you recall, though, there was a little while there where he was a big spread, 5 wide, really wide open passing game guy. So I'm almost curious if he feels like, because I mean they've got some receivers in that.
Right. It wouldn't make sense to go if he's going to try to go heavy. I don't think that's going to work very well at LSU. At least year one.
Yeah, I think we're going to see them open that up and become a little more spread oriented, as opposed to what he's been at Notre Dame these last few years.
It'll be interesting. What do you do? Do you get your offense installed and take the short-term lumps for longer-term success, or do you kind of make it a slower install to try and get more wins than you maybe could?
I think Kelly wants to win tomorrow. So
I think so too. So I think he might. I still honestly, I'd say if I had to put a win share on it, I think I'd do like 53% Florida State right now, just because we're getting them at the first of the year. I really do think it's a very strange transition. There's a lot of pieces that haven't played together. Give me the continuity of Florida State by a small margin over that kind of home field liaison advantage. So I'd pick Florida State in a very close win that game, even though, you know what? It's actually not a season opener, so we don't have to worry about the season opener curse. Now, if that happens to us against Duquesne, then Jesus Christ. Yeah. But no, man, I think it'll be. I feel okay. I feel better than I thought it would if you would have asked me last year.
Are we going to do a little running tally here of wins?
I'm not keeping track of it, but you guys can.
Okay. I think this will be a loss for them.
Okay. What do you think, Kevin? You're the tiebreaker. We'll do aggregate. I say W.
Okay. So we agree. That's not what
that's a thick yellow line, brother.
All right, so we got a win here, right?
Yep. This is the official triple option.
I think we're going to lose this game.
Piece of shit. Okay, keep going. 1-1. Got a bye heading into Louisville.
Don't lose that.
Now, where is that? Is that home or away? Do you guys have that? Let me pull it up. That is away.
This means away, I believe.
So that is away. So you've got Louisville off a bye week.
Only 5 road games this year.
Yeah. So you got to, but I mean, LSU. Are you counting that one?
No, it's one of the road games.
That has to be a road game. It's literally in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I know that's not where they are, but
yeah. So you got 13 because that's on a Friday night in Louisville. You got 13. So I don't like Friday night games. That sucks. However, it's off a bye week. So instead of 14 days, you get 13 days to prepare because you get that bye week from week 0. Louisville, Scott Satterfield's on the hot seat. He has done pretty good against Florida State recently.
Always on the hot seat.
Yeah, he's always on because he's a weirdo and he courts all these random jobs. Malik Cunningham came back.
If Malik Cunningham wasn't back, it would be an easy win.
Got to beat that kid at least once, right?
So I think this is probably where we were going to differ because I had us going at 2-0 going into Louisville, and I thought we were going to just lose Louisville. So I had us as an L for that. Just I don't know. Friday night in Louisville is strange to me, but I would have put us as an L for that. We don't play them really well. Satterfield kind of has our number, and if it's good Malik Cunningham on a night game, we'll see if the bye week helps or hurts depending on if Florida State wins. Are they coming off an emotional high? Are they coming off an emotional low? I personally think they're probably going to lose that game at Louisville. but maybe I'm giving the Cardinals too much credit. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I got a dub.
I think they win, and I think the reason we've had trouble with Louisville is because of Malik Cunningham. And I think we haven't had linebackers capable of stopping a dynamic scrambling quarterback like that. And they love outside zone, so they're going to be stretching the linebackers. And historically with, Dixon, Lundy, and even Gaynor sometimes, just the speed to get out there isn't there. I think that takes a significant step up now that Deloach has come along. With the addition of Bethune, I think that makes a big difference. So I think the bye week plus the increased skill at the linebacker position gives us a win here.
Okay, and I could see that. I could be swayed either way. I think we both.
I think we win and lose. I'm with you. I think we go 1-1 in this year.
We split in that series, and we're just splitting hairs, so it's fine. So we'll be 2-1 there. And I'm with you. They actually, I guess the second half of that Louisville game is when they kind of had like the Florida State start of their like mini renaissance, if you will. That's really started to kind of put it together. So maybe they'll continue that momentum. I think that next week, get eight days to prepare for Boston College at home. Phil Jerkovich is back, but I think Florida State, I feel pretty confident that they beat Boston College.
Where are you at, AB?
Man, I hate playing Jerkovich again, but yeah, I think that's a win.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with that.
They don't do well at FSU, especially in September when it's going to be 90 balls, hot, sweaty outside.
Yes, 90 balls is a lot of balls, Adam. I agree with you. That is so many sweaty balls.
I think as it stands right now, if you're gonna try to line up and punch Florida State in the face, I think Dixon, Lundy are still linebackers from 2005 that can kind of handle that. So I'm not really worried about a team that's gonna sit there and try to power us to death.
No, yeah, I'm not as well. Plus, that's at home. I feel good. This next one is interesting to me because Wake Forest brained us last year. However, that was a team, they went to the ACC title game, but that was a team rife of like those super senior COVID guys.
They're bringing a lot of those.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, like a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, the majority of their team's back. They haven't.
I thought they were losing a bunch of guys. They're bringing a lot of guys back.
We're playing the Golden Girls.
Because I was about to put that as a W for us. Now I'm not really sure. You guys talk it through while I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I think that while Wake Forest put up, I think that the outcome of that game last year was a lot more lopsided than what the actual play of the game was.
Correct. We agree. We watched the film. It was still pretty awful film. But I agree. They're not 21 points better than we were last year.
But this is a different program right now, in my opinion, to where you were at that point in the season. You're getting them at home. You're getting them in October. It's still going to be, it could be a night game, I guess, but likely a 3:00 game. Going to be warm there still. Feels like it's been forever since Wake Forest has come to Tallahassee for some reason.
Yeah.
I think that, I think you're going to play them close, and hopefully the officials don't screw you like they kind of did when you played up there last year with the personal foul, Gant going out of bounds.
There lots of penalties, self-inflicted ones.
Yeah, there were a couple of questionable calls in that game. So I think that I think you can turn the table a little bit this year, and I think they're going to win. I think they're going to beat Wake Forest.
All right, Kevin?
I think you win one of these three, and I think the most winnable one is Wake Forest.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
Yep, I agree.
It's funny how we're thinking of this in kind of like quadrants. Like we think of the schedule in chunks.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I was like, win, and then win 3 of the next 6, and then win 3 of the next 5. That's kind of what I thought. But
yeah, it's and this stretch up here, once you start to get that Louisville to Clemson, that's where it really starts to. That's a pretty rough stretch. That's the toughest stretch of the season,
it's
right?
A make or break, right?
Yeah. So I'll pencil in us for the W as well. There's no way in hell you will ever get me to pick Florida State on the road in Raleigh. That place is a house of hell for us. I am going a big fat L. I have no idea what you guys think about that. I hate Dave Dorn, so it pains me. They get Leary back. What do you think, Kev?
Yeah, it just sucks that, returning quarterback, returning quarterback. Well, it's good that this is a returning quarterback.
Now,
All right,
this
so
one,
this is all right. So there's a question in the chat from Kesna
Okay.
about the returning quarterbacks. How do you guys feel about all the returning quarterbacks we have to face this year?
it sucks.
It really does. I mean, it's
Real
almost
bad.
incredible. Every team, and you're looking at these guys like Jerkovich. I don't know why that kid didn't go pro. I mean, he must have gotten a bad grade, I guess. But I mean, this is not a great quarterback class. Leary feels like he could have gone. Hartman could have gone. I mean, all these guys. I was floored when every one of them said, "Oh yeah, we're coming back." Like they could have gone in this really bad quarterback class.
Hartman, I get it, but Leary and Jerkovich seem like second to third round guys at in this
Especially in
quarterback
this class.
at worst. So it's like, get paid, man. I don't know if they expect it to be better next. I don't know. I'm not judging these guys. Maybe
it was odd. It sucks that all those guys came back though. What I feel like sets up as a good schedule is made more difficult, and I feel like the margin for error is made smaller by all these veteran quarterbacks that you got to face week in.
It is. So it takes a lot of games where you have sure W, where that mid part of the schedule. Mm-hmm. Those are all toss-up games, right? Yeah. They're not.
Yep.
I think here you're playing 4 of the top 15 quarterbacks in college football.
Yep. It's stupid.
It's
I mean, you got Malik Cunningham, you got Jerkovich, you got Sam Hartman coming back, you've got Dennis Leary. I think those are 4 of the top 15 quarterbacks.
Is his name Dennis Leary?
No,
the comedian?
Oh, sorry.
It's not Dennis.
It's
okay.
Devin.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I don't know if you're watching a lot of Rescue Me on
and
Netflix.
I know Kev,
it's a great show, by the way.
And I know Kev despises DJ, but if DJ somehow finds his way back to freshman year, Notre Dame DJ, he's shown that it's in there. So you can want to discount that, but he has shown it.
I think that's further away. You know what's funny?
I think
the Clemson game at home. I feel like the Clemson game at home to me feels like, and it's no logic or whatever, it feels more winnable to me than the NC State game away.
I would agree with that.
I'm gonna put it as an L, but that could be one of those where.
Wait, which one?
Instead of Clemson. I mean, I think that could be one where you could be 5-2 through your first 7. I don't feel confident, but I think we're still going to lose. I'm putting it as an L, but
I don't know if you can block them. They get Breesy back.
Right, but if DJ's the starter, Dabo's little nepotism, pyramid scheme is falling in on itself because he doesn't have his coordinators that have been around for a decade. I mean, there's a lot of people going on in Clemson. The talent is still there, so it's going to be tough, but this could be,
they could be ripe for the picking here.
It would be funny if this was like Clemson's, Florida, how it was Florida State's 2015.
I think if the game in that second bye were flipped, if you went NC State bye Clemson, I think I'd be picking Florida State to win that game.
That's fair, but we're gonna put it as an L for right now. But we'll see. I wonder, by then, could there be some quarterback controversy? That kid, that Klubnik kid that they got coming in is really good. So maybe I don't know. We'll see.
I also think they got an upgraded offensive coordinator.
Nobody does screwing up quarterback rotations better than Dabo Sweeney. So
now, and there is the rock-hard scientific Jesus Christ, that's COVID tongue. I'm not an idiot. Rock-hard scientific college football rule of they're due for a loss because they've beaten us a lot of times in a row. Sometimes you're just due for a loss, and that's the college football gods talking. All right. So you go to Clemson, you play the Wuhan Tigers. I guess actually I can't say that because I'm a COVID boy right at the moment. Then you get a bye week to rest up. And I think you might be playing Georgia Tech without a head coach. So that's a big fat W. They hate Jeff Collins there. And I get it. He's weird and he stands on his tippy toes for pictures because he's a little short boy. So big fat W for Florida State, Georgia Tech at home.
Yeah, tend to agree.
Life pro tip: never hire a defensive coach to be your head coach unless it's Nick Saban.
Ever,
or I guess Kirby Smart.
Yeah, he just won a national championship.
They don't work out that often.
Sorry for all the defensive-minded head coaches in the chat. We apologize. Kevin has a clear and malignant bias towards you all.
The guy's like, I'm going to transition from the flex bone, so let's go full spread and not even pretend. Let's not even pretend like we ever ran the flex bone at any point in time. Makes me sick.
Oh, I
Makes
mean,
me sick. It makes me
Like
what
sick.
are your options though? Try
You
to
can
continue
run a
running the.
spread option. You can run the triple option out of
I
a
mean,
shotgun.
they did run some
We
spread
did
option
it. Namesake of the show.
They kind of did it that first
stuff.
year.
Oh,
But
they
there was
still
the
did
argument,
it. I
like
mean,
we
And
were
that was
talking
their
about.
best year.
We
They've
were
gotten
talking
worse.
about Brian Kelly, right? Like, do you install the system that you want to run ultimately and take your lumps, and then have success in the long term, or do you try to kind of make it a slow transition?
I don't
And
think
he
Jeff
didn't have any
Collins.
success at any time.
Yeah, I
So.
mean, and Jeff Collins isn't failing because they didn't run the spread option.
Oh, his boosters hate him, yeah,
Yeah.
and he's a dork. All right, so it's W. Less talking about Jeff Collins, the better. Interesting game, Miami, November. It's an away game at Miami, so you're thinking naturally. You've seen all the pictures. There'll be 17 people in the stands. 16 of them will be wearing some ridiculous fan costume. However, when Florida State comes to play Miami, Hard Rock is a tough environment to play. It's hostile. It's in November. Right now, we have Florida State at what? What's their record that we have
5-3.
5-3. So, I mean,
Well,
Miami will probably be like 6-1 then because they have such a cake schedule.
Oh,
So it's going to be a tough environment. Florida State got one on them, 4th and 14 this year. Mario Cristobal cannot hire an offensive and defensive coordinator. I am unfortunately going to be predicting that as a loss for Florida State. I don't think it's going to be an ass beating, but Tyler Van Dyke back, Jalen Knighton, Leonard Taylor with another year. I forget the safety kid's name, James Williams. That kid is an experiment. It'll be a dogfight, and I think that Miami is unfortunately going to come out on top.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Miami right now because I think they have the better quarterback. I think by that point of the season, you will have worked out a lot of your kinks that are going to come with new coordinator hires and new head coach. I think that overall their team's more talented. But, I mean, look, you're losing a lot of production in the Rambo kid. Injuries happen. I think they're pretty talented up front on the offensive line, but we'll see. I think it's a winnable game. I don't think you're going to win it at this point, but I mean, I think it's a game. You're maybe a touchdown dog in.
I'd say so on the road, maybe 8 points, something like that.
So I think it'll be close, and I think you got a shot. And, it's a rivalry game against Miami.
I think
That's what's so nerve-wracking about this schedule, dude. There's not really too many easy dubs, and there's no minute everyone could go either way. So hopefully, Mike Norvell's coaching will be a lot of the factor that pushes this one way or the other. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go against what you guys are saying. I think that we were borderline the better team last year. I know we won, but I wasn't blown away by them. I think they're going to have downgrades at offensive coordinator no matter who they bring in, because I think Rhett Lashley is top 15 offensive coordinator in the country, personally. I think on defense, they're going to – I mean, Kevin Steele is okay. They'll probably be all right. I wouldn't – like if you asked me who would I rather coordinate my defense, Kevin Steele or Manny Diaz, I'd say it's pretty much a toss-up.
Who would you rather coordinate your defense, Kevin Steele or Adam Fuller?
Probably Kevin Steele.
Yeah, probably Kevin Steele at this point. But,
I feel,
give me one more year
shitting on him so hard then.
Give me one more year of Fuller and I might change my mind. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
but I'll also tell you that we got a better recruiting class than them this past year. We got a better transfer class than them this past year.
Yeah.
Tyler Van Dyke doesn't have Rambo to throw the ball to anymore.
The recruiting class is better than people are giving it credit for. They've got low numbers, but they got really high ranking guys. But we'll see whether they pan out.
They got transition class guys. We've seen what those guys look like. You really think Jaden Lars-Woodby is a 5-star? I don't know. I'm not
sure I agree with that statement, Kev.
I think people are just. I think people are buying into the first year coach hype that always comes. I'm not. I'm not buying that their recruiting class is going to dramatically catapult them to be better than us. I think they're losing Rambo, who is a third of the reason why Van Dyke looked so good last year. I think he's got a sophomore slump. I think Miami loses several of those games they should win. because it's Miami, and I think we win that game.
I like that. It's got to go for an L because it's 2-3, but I'm almost wavering, Kev, because I do like. I feel like you hate Miami a good bit. You're a very objective lad, but I know that you hate Miami.
Oh, I really don't like Miami. I think they're a garbage football program. I'm
good
sorry.
For you.
Don't
never apologize to me for saying that. I like that. I like when you're such a smart analytical guy. I like when you get down in the muck with us fans. I like that, man.
I don't know. I just don't buy the crystal ball crap. I saw him at the basketball game. It made me so mad.
Yeah, it was pretty buffoonish. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see who they get for their OC and how much of that is just going to be Cristobal overruling him and just saying, run the ball. Because they do have some good running backs.
Who's their OC? I'm not going to choose a team to beat us that literally doesn't have an offense.
That's fair. We lost to Florida last year when they had no head coach at all. So it is possible for us to lose when things are in upheaval. Sorry for bringing that up. Yeah, interesting. If we went 2-0, and we'll get to the Florida game, but if Mike Norvell, I'm not. We'll talk about it after the fact. Let's move on. Syracuse. I think that's a W. I don't think they're going to have a head coach at that time. I expect Dino will be let go by then. Carrier Dome's a weird place to play, especially in November. But I'm glad it's indoors, even though it's just a strange, oddly intimidating environment for the amount of people they pack in there. So depending on a win after it'll be a tougher game than people expect. I think Syracuse sucks, but I don't know if it's going to be a blowout. But Florida State, I think they still win by 10 to 14 points.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they get the quarterback back who burned you some this last year. They get that stud running back. But yeah, I think that's a team that's going to be in flux.
Yeah, I agree. So I'd go W. I don't even know Kevin, you want to add anything on the orange?
Yeah, I mean, that kid might give us a little bit more trouble, but I think you're going to be more expecting it this time.
We made him look better than he is. What was it, Schrader? I mean, just stop the bootleg, man. It was really his first
action. I don't think anybody was expecting him to be able to run for friggin' 300 yards.
Yeah, so I think we'll have him bottled up more this time. I'm not worried about it. Still, like I said, weird upstate New York November game. Big time travel for a Florida school. All right, so you play Louisiana. In my head, I'm at beginning, it was like, why is this one of your other like kind of cupcake games that you have? Would have been more worried about it if Florida head coach Billy Napier didn't absolutely just raid his entire team, which Louisiana people were like, oh, my Cajuns are clutching their pearls. It's like, dude, it's college football. That's what happens, guys. I'm sorry.
I think they've lost like 8-9 starters.
He picked them all. So it's
but not even just there. I mean, they've got a couple of kids going to LSU. I think they got a kid going to TCU. Like, I think they're going to be a shell of kind of what they were. I'm sure they're going to be, decent. They're going to be well developed because obviously they've been I think they've got like 2 losses in the last 3 years, something like that, or 3 losses. So they're a pretty stout program. What Billy was able to build there, but I think they've just lost too much too fast, and you're going to end up, you're going to beat them at home.
Dub City.
Yeah, I think so.
Kevin, Dub City.
Yeah, I would be more worried about it also if it was earlier in the season. I'm glad that we kind of get them later, and we'll kind of be hopefully clicking by that point and not imploding.
Their depth could be really challenged at this point in the season.
Yeah.
All right. So Dub City. So last game of the schedule, we got the Florida Gators at home on a Friday night. Weird. Don't like it. I get why they did it. Don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
I'm a traditionalist, dude. We play on Saturday of Thanksgiving. We always have. Nothing's wrong with it. I make fun of you for being the old man yelling at the cloud, but to me, that Florida State-Florida game is a premier rivalry game. And it had its day and it had its time, and I don't think that needed to be messed with. So I don't like it. I get why they did it. I understand Michael Alford's position for it. Like, oh, you can lock in a nighttime or a primetime game. You won't be optioned. Well, guess what? Have a less shitty football team, and we wouldn't get optioned on that Saturday of Thanksgiving.
Well then, sir.
So guess what? Get the football team better. You won't have to worry about that. But no, you did this decision. I don't know if it's a multi-year thing, if it's a one-year trial. Either way, I don't like it. Just like I didn't like when we played Miami that Labor Day weekend. It was weird. It's stupid. It's not when Florida State Miami's supposed to be played. We are not it's debatable if we're a blue blood or not, but we have enough cachet where you don't screw with our. Oh God, I'm trying not to drop the F-bomb on here. Don't fuck with our game, man. Don't do it. It's Florida State, Florida. Don't fuck with it. And you fucked with it, and I thought it was unnecessary. I get it. I'm probably not as mad as I'm coming off. I just thought it was a weird decision. What do you guys think about that before we talk about the actual game?
I can give two shits when they play.
Yeah, it's a football game. Go win it.
Yep. Anytime, anywhere.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, okay.
I'm
too cool to care.
I support you, Trey.
I would be less upset if it was an away game, but it almost feels like deliberately, like a deliberate decision for us to not have a crowd there. Like it's
what?
It's Black Friday.
I think the crowd's going to be just fine.
Like students aren't here. No one lives in Tallahassee.
They'll trek back for that.
I don't think it's
going
to
to be.
I don't think it's going to be an
families.
issue. You're playing Florida.
If you've won as many games as we've outlined here, then it won't be an issue.
Right.
All right. So we play Florida, and I have no idea what to think about Florida this year. They've had a lot of transfers too, but it was a lot of they've kind of become the Florida Raging Gators a little bit. So people are dogging on the talent level, which I mean, hey, we've shown guys that from the lower level, there are a lot of undervalued assets that could be at that Sun Belt level, but I guess it's different when you take those guys selectively versus you take a whole bunch of those dudes. Florida showed last year, it was a close game. I think Florida showed that they were the better team without even a head coach. But I know there's some critical mistakes where Florida State really shot themselves in the foot. I'm really on the fence about this game because I kind of, before I went into the schedule game by game, I was thinking that we were a 7-5 football team. And I want to say that we beat Florida this year. I say we split the rivals, but it was in the opposite order of what we did last year. I really think that Florida State's going to beat Florida. But I also don't want to put our record at 8-4. I feel like that's too high, if that makes any sense. I know that doesn't make, I don't know. So I'm going to put a W, and then I don't know. I'd still have my personal record at 7-5, but this is a show of record. We're a trusted news source, so I got to think about this. So I'll put us as a W, but I want to hear what you two guys say before we have the official triple option win-loss prediction.
Go ahead, Kev. You go first.
I think Napier's a better hire than Cristobal.
Okay.
I think Florida was more talented, brings more talent forward into this year than Miami does. But it is a home game, so that makes a difference. I think we split Miami and Florida, so I'll take the win.
Well, you said we'd beat Miami.
Yeah, you have to take the loss.
Then I'll take the loss. How's that?
All right.
I'll take the loss.
I think
Florida's better.
Nuts. I don't think Napier's better hire than Cristobal, and
you're down on Bill.
And I don't think Florida's more talented than Miami this year.
I think Miami's trash.
They
might win a game.
He's run some dudes a game. Holy shit!
I think they're going to upset Texas A&M and lose every other game in the season.
Oh, okay. Kev's been drinking the special sauce down there.
I love it.
I think Florida's lost a lot of talent that they're going to struggle to, kind of make up for. I mean, I guess they got some of these Louisiana kids coming in that are good. I mean, the one lineman's projected kind of first, second round type. They've got Anthony Richardson right now. There's always been some sort of rumor swirling about on him, whether he's
Emery's still on the team too, man.
Yeah, I don't know. This Florida team feels ready to
right for the picking.
They feel ready to splinter and kind of ready to bail.
I don't think either one of these fan bases is ready to be worse than they were last year, and I think they both will be.
There's the opportunity definitely is going to be there for them to struggle at some point. I don't think you're giving Miami enough credit personally, but I think Florida's going to struggle a little bit this year out the gate. That could kind of continue as the season goes along there. They got to face obviously a tough SEC schedule. I think Florida State's going to be Florida this year in Doak Campbell. we'll see whether it plays out that way or not. But
So put the dub. So right now we have an official win-loss triple option prediction of 8-4. However, because this is going as our official prediction, do we want to do like an overall? We didn't do win shares, but do you want to? I know that, but do you want to put like a caveat, like maybe an adjustment on this? Like we see so many toss-ups where we actually put down our prediction. Because I'm a 7-5 guy. I feel like this is 7-5 year, 7-5 team. What do you feel? Because we're at 8-4 right now. I'd say with just the toss-up nature of the games, I'm okay with doing it. I know this is kind of chintzy, but I think that our official show prediction should be a 7-5. What do you guys think? Am I wrong?
I did win shares like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and I think I had them at 0.69. So
yeah, I was about 7 too. I think what ends up happening is these 3 games end up being way closer to 50% than we'd like to say. So that
absolutely.
We're just leaning one way. I would lean as favorites in these 3 games. But there's a good chance you drop one of these.
All right. So do the adjustment factor. Our official show prediction is 7-5. So when everybody's talking about like, oh, I predicted it first, I was 7. We have ours. So if we're right, we're right. And if we're wrong, we're wrong. But that's our official. Just did some very analytical type stuff at the end. That's the record. It's manageable. 7-5. I think you can build some momentum. You go 8-4, like 7. I don't think you can go less than like 6 this year. Then like you win like 5 games this year. Then it's like, I think Mike's tenure is kind of like effectively, he won't be fired at the end of the year for a 5-loss season. And he might, especially if they lose a lot at the beginning. It's tough. Like, I don't think it's going to happen, but if he wins 5 games, I think his tenure is effectively over. But I think 6 to me is like the floor. 7 is 7. And if you get 8, I'm super happy. So that's how I feel about it. I would say, I don't know if you guys have anything to add. I think we got about let's take questions if there's any, maybe for like 5 minutes, and then I gotta head out of here. What do you guys think? Are there any questions in the chat? Or are people just blown away by how salient prescient our knowledge is?
Just a lot of predictions, obviously. Kessner was asking, how does landing a true P5 good quality left tackle by the portal change your predictions? I have us plus 1.5 games with a good transfer left tackle. I think you're already pretty solid at left tackle. Personally, I think it's going to be Robert Scott out there. Excuse me. I think it's going to be Robert Scott out there, and I think Rob's going to have a good year as a junior. Whatever.
I think what happens if you get the tackle, I don't know if you really you add a win, but I feel really, really solid about that 7. I think it takes away the potential for that disastrous 5-win season, right? Because Florida State's still not a super deep team on the offensive line. They're deeper than they have been in a while, but a Rob Scott injury, and then it's like, oh, okay, like it's still not where it needs to be yet for me to not feel scared about it. So we do need to add a tackle in the portal. He's right. But to me, I don't know, as far as what's the war of adding a tackle? I don't know. But I know that it firms up. It makes me feel a lot more solid about a mid-September game against Boston College or, Louisville, when you're not going out there with a young kid who shouldn't be playing tackle. So if that answers his question, we still need to get one for an obvious reason. It's to keep that 7 win target in check.
Right. I agree. Yeah. I think the additions you're going to make, I think they probably got 4 additions left. If they can find that many bodies going into the, going in the second half of the portal season post spring, I think those spots are going to be about building that floor to make sure you don't fall above that 5-6 win range. You got to go get a quarterback, because Kev's going to hate to hear this, but you can't go to Tate if Jordan does get hurt, and you have to prepare mentally for Jordan getting hurt, because it's something that has happened in his career. I do think that the injury-prone label that's been slapped on Jordan by some is probably a little bit overblown. I think some of the things that have happened to him have been more due to the O-line getting him blown up than necessarily his game getting him hurt. So we'll see, but you've got to bring somebody in there. I think you got to get a tackle just to continue to build that floor and that depth there, and make sure you feel solid if somebody does get hurt. I think I personally would go get another defensive end if you can. I'd go get a linebacker if you can. That's just kind of where my head's at.
Yeah, I think personally, what's an encouraging thing about this roster is I don't think there's nearly as many holes as there
Right.
has been.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they've done a good job of patching holes.
Hmm.
Just the top end talent isn't there, right?
Yeah,
So if you want to talk about it, like this is not a team that's talented enough to win 10 games, you know.
yep, yep.
But
Yeah, I'm with you, Kev. The hole's patched, but we haven't necessarily painted over the caulking yet. Like it's not a finished product as far as what we want the team to look, but it's a livable house.
Like like I feel like there's not a game on that schedule where I'm like, oh, they can't win.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I would say NC State is probably the closest one in my opinion. Just because of what that stadium does to this team.
I hate that place, dude. I don't
Yeah.
think we have any chance of winning that game, and it's
Well-
not because I think NC State's that good.
Yeah, but the margin for error is just so razor thin for them because they just don't have that one guy that can go dominate a football game. That one special player that you could throw the ball up to, or you could count on taking a game over defensively, whatever. While I think Jordan's going to have a good year as a quarterback, I think he's going to probably push into that top 25 quarterback nationally realm. He's still not a guy that I think that you can just put the ball in his hands and say, go win me a football game. So that, I just think, like you guys are kind of saying, they lack that true top talent that really just puts them over the top.
And Kev, I kind of cut you off. What were you saying? You were talking about the depth and all that stuff, and I said something about house paint. So my bad on that. What were you saying?
But I will say, what I was saying was the schedule itself isn't built like if we were a team that had national championship aspirations this year, I feel like we would be complaining about this schedule, right? Because the back-to-back Louisville, Boston College, Wake Forest, NC State, Clemson without a bye, you're just asking for a loss. But this schedule's built to be bowl eligible. Like it's built so the games you need to win, you have as much rest going into it. So it's also one of those things where because it's so close, if Florida State comes out and has a good game against LSU and continues a winning streak, I could see things changing. Like you guys said, there's no games
absolutely.
that are unwinnable. But on the flip side, you could have a situation where the team gets in their own head like they did at the beginning of last year, and you drop 4 games in a row that you just shouldn't have dropped. So,
I mean that LSU to Clemson stretch is really Miami stretch is a bear. I mean, you've got a lot of veteran quarterbacks that are going to be coming to town. Luckily, a bunch of those games are at home, but you got a lot of veteran quarterbacks, a lot of veteran teams there that you got to go beat. Obviously, we know LSU's probably more talented than you. I think it's safe to say they are. Clemson's more talented than you. I think Miami's more talented than you. You got to go to the House of Horrors. Those are all games. While we say we could think that they could win any of them, they're all games you could lose too.
Yeah, and I agree with both of you, but I understand what Kev's saying. We can't do anything about the teams that are on the schedule, but the way that it's constructed to where the bye before the like a Friday night game in Louisville sucks with Malik
absolutely.
Cunningham, but you get 13 days to prepare for it. Then you get that extra day for Boston College, who's kind of funky with Jerkovich. So the Louisville game is like, that's the type of game that you need to win this year, right?
Yeah,
that's the type of game that you haven't won in the past couple of years. Like you got to beat. They have a good quarterback and then some and a weird head coach. Like you got to take care of business against them. So I feel like the schedule, it's not built for optimum success, but it's built to give you a pretty decent shot at beating the teams that Florida State traditionally needs to beat and is going to need to beat to be a power. But I'm with you, Kev. It's also built where if they get some early momentum, they can carry it over. So it's interesting. Like I said, it's as good as the schedule could have been to me with the teams that are faced.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got? Anybody else want any more
one
comments?
One more thing I want to say before we close this out. We
Please.
spent all this time talking about schedule. To me, I'm going to be looking more at the obviously wins and losses shape and color our perceptions, but I want to look at the SP Plus stuff. I want to look at the advanced analytics. Are we improving on a game-to-game basis? Because I don't think, unless it's a complete disaster, I don't think you're firing Mike Norvell next year. Like a 6 or 7 win season isn't going to fire him, right? Like So is the team getting better will really flavor how I see Norvell going forward. Like, I would rather have a 7-win season, a 6 or 7-win season where we jump up in the SP Plus and we lose a couple close games than like an 8-win season where we're not actually better. It's just fool's gold, you know?
Yeah, and I'm wondering if you asked Mike Norvell what his answer would be.
His
'Cause I
answer
almost
would
feel
probably be the opposite because everybody
exactly.
cares about wins and
That's
losses.
what I'm interested. Yeah, exactly. Which because that's what, and I get it. Like, because I've always been like a quality of play guy, but now you're at this year where it's just tough, man. You need, and I think he might even take the hard win number with a slightly worse team because we've seen that. We've seen like a team that's played like a 9-win team only win 7 or 6, and we've also seen the opposite. I'm thinking that Mike would take the 8-win team that plays like a 6-win team because that's a better story to sell on the recruiting trail.
Yeah, it definitely is.
So that's interesting. Like I said, I like that's a thinking man's answer. I think I would go the opposite just because of the implications for the future going forward and knowing that we need to get some high school defensive tackles in to our rod. We need an infusion of talent coming up soon. So I would go the opposite, but I understand completely. Anything else from the commentariat before we head on out?
No, let's get on out of here, boys.
Well, that's good. Well, guys, we love you. We showed up to work. I thought we had a great show for an absolutely just normally dreadful period of talking football. Not for us, because we're the best and you're the best.
We're a freaking month from spring ball, boys.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm amped.
Me too.
I have no idea what we're going to talk about for the next month, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together with you. Hopefully, the next time I'm not barfing up just virus all over the work laptop. Hopefully, I'm good. I'm up to snuff. The immune system's kicking in, and I know some guys who are always kicking in, who are always running at full power, and that's my boys Adam Brown and Kevin Little. I love you guys. I love you, the Triple Option fans. As always, thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel. Go to Tomahawk Nation for all your news and notes and Florida State's thinkings. And we love you very much. Keep chopping. I love you.